It is Other Side of the Selfie coming to you live with Mr. Clayton Flurry. Say hi, Clayton.
Hello, everybody.
Want to get everybody's attention by making some funny uh, movements. Hope everybody's good. Clayton's in the sunshine down in Texas. We are in Ohio, and it's freezing balls, snowing, icy, all that fun stuff. Good to have you, Mr. Flurry.
It's good to be here. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now but here. It's beautiful outside. I've learned a lot from my wife for the past 3 or 4 years. I've tried to even set it up to where the lighting's just right. Forgive me if there's any airplane noise. I do live pretty close to the airport, but
It's all good. You
it's
got
all good.
sunshine, good lighting, natural lighting, which is better than my fake selfie light, but that's okay.
I've got a few of those fake selfie lights laying around our house.
I can imagine. I can imagine. All right, we're going to jump into it. We got a special guest coming in here in a few minutes, but we're going to jump in real quick. So give me the breakdown, Clayton. Who are you? Who is your wife? How long have you been connected in any way to the network marketing, direct sales world?
Sure. And I'll make it quick because I'm anxious to see who this special guest is. I've heard rumors, but
It's a
let's
big
see
one.
if that's what I'm hearing. I'm
It's a
excited.
big one.
I'm a nobody, but I do claim to be the husband and spouse of Katie Flurry. We've got three beautiful, healthy children and a shedding, hyperactive boxer. We live in Dallas, Texas. I have a full
Whoop,
time
whoop.
job. Yeah. Originally from Louisiana, though. So definitely missing the king cakes and the Mardi Gras beads right about now.
I see. What's that in your
Um,
background?
yeah.
What do I
We'll
see
talk
there?
about that. Yeah, I got in homage of the Super Bowl today, and we should have been there. My Breeze jersey, and I even found a few Mardi Gras beads and hung them up there. Yeah, so currently live in Dallas. Came here by way of Tulsa, and prior to that, we were from Shreveport, Louisiana. So, um, yeah, and you asked me here today, and I'm glad to be here. I appreciate that. It's an honor to be here with you, Matt.
Cool. How long ago did Katie get involved? Did she do anything before Unique? And if not, when did she get started with Unique as far as direct sales network marketing goes?
Yeah, sure. So, it's, as you said, Unique. Full disclosure, my wife is a presenter for Unique. But, I think what we'll talk about today applies to any and all persons looking at network marketing or anything for that matter. Hopefully that we can be some sort of word of encouragement. But, Katie got her degree. We both went to Louisiana Tech together. Go Bulldogs. She got her degree in health and wellness, fitness, kinesiology, and pursued that path right out of college. And then the Lord blessed us with child number one, and felt it was best that she stays home. And she's always had an entrepreneurial spirit. She's dabbled in things like monogramming with her mother. They had a small business called the Monogram Pair that was fabulous. All things that helped her stay home. And that's where she landed in where she is now in Unique in 2014. Basically, she wasn't looking for anything to do, a side hustle, if you will. I hear it called. I think that's a good slang term for it. But someone handed her a stick of magic mascara, I think was what it was called at the time, and she liked it and didn't realize that by opening that stick of eyelash stuff was going to actually open up Pandora's box, if you will. And everything's been in Pandora's box, from friendships to fellowship to leadership to mentorship to trips, to hard times, fun times. It's been amazing.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get into that in just 1 minute, but we do have a special guest coming to
Yes.
us live. So let me see if I can bring him in. We're going to go over live to who do we got here? I'm not sure. Oh,
Oh,
Justin Timberlake.
yeah.
How do we get
Yes, it's
Justin
me.
Timberlake on the line? What do you got
Hi,
to say to
everyone.
us, Justin? What are you doing today?
I'm getting ready for the halftime show, and I can't stay long, but I
Well, we
wanted to let you guys know what you're doing is awesome, and keep it up with Other Side of the Selfie.
Hey, Justin, we really appreciate you taking a minute out of your very, very busy schedule today. I'm sure.
Anytime you
Yeah.
catch me on the halftime show, I'm hot.
We'll all be watching. You are hot. We appreciate you coming. Clayton, anything to say to Justin?
JT, keep doing what you do, man. I get up about 4:30 every morning and I put you on the big screen and I practice your moves. And man, I'm told practice makes perfect. I'm still waiting on the perfect part.
Hey, Clayton. Clayton.
Yes, sir.
You bring sexy back.
All right. I know you got to get going. We got to get going.
Later.
JT, appreciate you coming around.
Uh-huh.
See you, buddy.
Hey, do good tonight, JT. No wardrobe malfunctions, will you? No malfunctions.
No malfunctions tonight.
Rated PG.
Although
my kids will be
some
watching.
ladies are hoping my pants fall down.
There might be one in this house who might have that desire. There it is. We'll let you head out with sexy back.
Bye, guys.
See you, JT. Man.
Are you, can you believe we got JT here live
I heard
on the other side of the selfie?
I heard you were a man of magic and a man that knew people, but I didn't really know that you knew people. That's impressive.
Yeah, I do know people. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that he was able to get on and just take a couple minutes to say, hey.
So I'm sure if there was this ratings meter going, we had a big spike. We had a big spike, and now it's completely fallen off.
Absolutely, it's just back to us.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
Sorry, ladies, but I do what I can. We bring in the guest stars. We got Clayton Flurry for one, and we've had Mark Medley in the past talk about the stars. This is big time. So we do what we can. JT, thanks for coming on, buddy.
That's awesome.
All right, so back into what we were talking about. We appreciate JT stopping in, but let's jump in real quick and tell me a little bit about the timing of things. So if you were to say when Katie got involved, and then maybe what did that entail, and what did that look like from your perspective? What did you do? I know you said earlier you wanted her to be able to stay home, and that was a big deal. But how did that connect to network marketing, and how did that kind of play out?
I've really put a lot of thought in this when I first learned that you were rolling out with this program, and I was hoping I'd get a chance to have this moment, and I sure as hell don't want to screw it up. And Katie's put a lot of hard work over the past 4 years, and I told her today, I said, is there anything out of bounds? Because I don't want to screw up what you've done and all your hard work. And, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to say or talk about, but, once she jumped in this business, again, everybody's situation's different, and this is not applicable to married couples. This is also applicable to the boyfriend, boyfriend situation, and it's not just applicable to women, right? There's men in network marketing.
Sure.
And so when she fell into this, it was literally she was handed a product that she liked and she believed in, and she just pursued, what else it offered. Being a small business owner, if you will. Looking back on it now, hindsight's always 20/20. There's kind of two categories I break this into and I wish I'd have been more cognizant and aware at the time when she was bringing this up of, hey, there's an opportunity here, and I didn't even know what is an opportunity, and so it's not just network marketing, in my opinion. It's any job. Again, going back to assuming that everything I say is going to really assume a partner relationship. I should have done better. Maybe ask, what type of work is this you're going to be doing? Is it work? I think we should always ask, and we all ask, what type of work brings us joy? And I think obviously she believed, hey, I think this is something that could bring me joy. I'm getting to be the social butterfly that I am. It's crazy. I can't even go down to the street with the kids to the park now, and I'm known as Katie's husband.
Let me tell you, I'm right there in that boat with you,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think I've kind of forgotten your question, and I'm kind of running all over. I'm running all over the place, but
it's all good. What was your opinion when she jumped in? What did you? I know you said maybe you didn't ask the right questions, but what did you think whenever she started jumping into this? What was your perception as the guy on the other side of the selfie, if you will?
I don't know if it was right or wrong, but this is the approach I took. I know she wasn't going to be Uncle Rico selling Tupperware, the 32-piece set. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everyone needs Tupperware. I wish someone would show up at my door and sell me some Tupperware. But she was getting into something that, to me, it's a product that, everyone uses. She was getting into something that was going to fill some of her time. She was getting into something that, once I asked the obvious questions, are you going to have to pay taxes on this? Well, duh. I mean, any income you got to pay taxes on, right? I think I initially was concerned with, and the more I thought about it, it was a very illegitimate concern, because the concern of being, is this a fad? Is this something that's going to be a flash in the pan? Well, guess what? I can ask the same thing about my job. I can ask the same thing about my parents' jobs. We don't know, unless you're running the company. You don't know if it's going to be here today or tomorrow. But what I do know is, no matter what you step into, whatever you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And I watched her with that approach. She went whole hog, and we were literally in transition from Tulsa to Dallas when she jumped into this. She had just had our third child, and there was a lot of sacrifice from both of us. And I remember her wanting to come to this convention here in Dallas, their annual convention, Unique's annual convention. And I was the babysitter. I had the children, and that's not appropriate, but that's kind of how it was. Mm-hmm. And she was nursing our third child, and I'd get the text, "Hey, I'm in between classes. Bring the boy down. He needs milk," And so it's not all fun, but it's super rewarding at the end of the day when you look back at all the things that it's taken to get to where you are, where she is.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what were, besides, so you kind of mentioned a little bit of it, but what would you say were some of the challenges, either early on, but then also as it's gone on? So it's been 3, 4, 5 years now. What's what's happened? What's been the challenges associated with being involved in this, both from your side and what I would think from your side and her side as well?
Let me touch on her challenges as I've seen them. And I can only speak to Unique. That's not true. I watched, as a child, I watched my parents in I guess it wouldn't be network marketing. It was more of a multi-level marketing business. And I watched their challenges, and it did kind of give me a bias against anything Katie would do that would be in that same type of industry. So I was a little cautious, but I did see that the challenges were almost the same as what my parents went through. It's rejection. I think for every time she's been rejected, I would have died. But she seems to thrive on rejection. Not that she's faced with rejection every day, but my parents were the type. I think after a while, they threw their hands up. But I've learned through time, for every one no she gets, I think she probably gets 2 or 3 yeses, or at least persons of interest, if you will. Right. And so one of the bigger struggles I think I've seen her with, that I think we all face with, no matter if we're in network marketing or not, has really been dealing with people. It's not a cakewalk in any job when you're dealing with people, and especially in network marketing, you're dealing with people.
Right, and you got a team below, you got a team above, you got all this stuff that you got to deal with and balance.
That's right. You've got product going out the door. Is the product going to be what the person expected? And customer service, and a lot of it's self-taught. And at first, I was always wondering, why was she on these videos all the time? All these videos, and I understand. It's because you're learning not only from your mistakes, or you're learning from others' mistakes or problems. So I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges is just navigating uncharted waters.
Right.
How do you run this business? And I've seen her attack it head on, and it's been real successful. And I define success in happiness. Anything that's beyond that comes with it that's lagniappe. It truly is.
So what about from a whether in your marriage, whether it's time, whether it's just anything, as far as being, so from your perspective? So I know challenges that she may face, but as the husband or the boyfriend or the girlfriend, whatever it is on the other side, like where do you feel like that? I know on our end, time obviously comes into play, or the amount of time on a phone, for example, or something like that. So has there been any things like that where you feel like there's been some things where you've been like, it was kind of hard for us to get through, or early, again, whether it's early on or whether it's later on in the situation?
Yeah, no, there's two things that come to mind. First, there was a specific incident. I met with a buddy of mine back in Tulsa. Katie's probably been in the business for a few years now, and it's no secret. A lot of the business done with Unique is done through social media. And sitting at dinner with this buddy, he just felt he needed to tell me that, he's kind of defriended my wife because he's had enough of the videos. And I wasn't sure how to take that, but I get it. That's cool. To each their own. And I could have easily maybe taken that back to my wife and said, "Hey, you're making me lose friends," but that wasn't the case. It was just, everyone wants to see what they want to see when they want to see it. And he didn't want to see Katie half naked each morning putting on makeup. And that's cool. I do. But that's okay. But insofar as the time thing, look, in my job, I've got to balance work life. In her job, she's got to balance work life. And it's been a struggle for me, but the struggle is selfishness. We're in a car for 3 hours to get from Dallas and go east to Shreveport to see our parents and the grandparents. And for 3 hours, I may not say but one or two words to Katie. It's because she's over there on her phone on social media, but she's working. And I have to remember that and not be childish about it and poke at her and say, "Hey, me," which I do. I'm not perfect at this, but
Right.
I have to really realize there's a reason she's doing it. Now, there's a difference if she was over there playing,
Whatever game. Words with friends,
yeah.
or I get
But
you.
that's not it. She's over there. She's working, and she understands what reward's going to come from that work. Right? She's mentoring people. It's given her a self of ownership. Self worth. She's got her income. She knows that she's going to be able to put that shirt she's wanted for Jack forever and ever on his back. I mean, it's those things that I have to continue to remember. And when it gets to a point where it bothers me, I have to tell her. And I say bother me when I start to feel like the middle child. I will say something, and she's real good about it.
And I think that's a great point. And I think that idea of open communication is a big piece, because I think where it would be bad is, and I've been guilty of this as well, where you just kind of hold that in. And if just my personality is such that I'd rather, I'll get over it, I'll deal with it or whatever. But it got then to a point, and we actually did have that conversation. That was like, can you block your wind a little bit there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. So yeah, you got to a point and said, hey, we just have to put some parameters around time frame, and yeah, it's selfish, but I need a little bit of me time too, right? So let's just let's talk through this. And so again, it's not to say that it's all bad, but I think just the idea of talking about it and communicating it, instead of as that person on the other side saying, well, what the heck is she doing on that phone all the time? Why didn't she ever pay attention to me? And and then just kind of sulk about it and just get frustrated, and that leads to other little things, and you start picking, and then blah blah blah. So I think that open communication piece is big, and it sounds like you guys have done that too.
Yeah, and in last resort, if it's 9 o'clock, kids are at bed, and she's on the couch with the phone this close to her face, if I can't get her attention by just kind of whistling or something, I'll just go to the back and brush my teeth and happen to leave all my clothes back there and come out, and
whatever works.
You've got to figure out things, right? How to navigate and make it all come together. But they're doing it for a reason. Your partner's doing it for a reason, and it's no different than the partner that's doing network marketing or the partner that's got the 9-to-5 job. You support each other, right?
Right.
So to me, it's not about the network marketing gig. It's about just being there for her or him, or her for him. That's what it boils down to. And if you don't lose sight of why are you doing it, and you're enjoying what you're doing, it's all going to work out. And today, thus far, it has. It's not all been awesome. Nothing is. But it sure as hell is great. And I think specific to Unique, and I'm sure everybody's got some sort of incentive programs or trips, whatnot, but Unique's got some pretty rad incentive trips. And I'll never forget when she won the first when we didn't make it, won the second when we finally went, and I was dreading it. I will be honest, I was not looking forward to it because I did not want to be on a cruise ship with people that I had no clue who they were, a bunch of people slinging makeup, right? And
Right.
I tell you, I've made some really good friends, and we've
Was
been
that
now.
first trip when we met? Was
That
that
was
your first?
That was the
First
first
one?
trip you and I met, absolutely.
Outstanding. Yeah.
And they just continue to get better and better and better. The groups continue to grow larger and larger and larger. In fact, I just was invited to go skiing with Joe Cotton out of South Louisiana. Had it not been for Unique and Katie's hard work, I'd never met the man.
That's
But
cool.
I left him hanging though, so we're probably not friends anymore.
That's funny. Yeah, and the funny part about that is that, like you said, I think the connections and the friends and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've got this little group now that's been created of, maybe 20 of us or something like that met probably on that first trip, and then some have come in and some have gone out and whatever. But I think the joys of that has been way beyond just the fact that, hey, it's really cool, we're on a cruise and they want a trip and whatever. But I think the friendships and again, so you and I see each other like once a year for the most part. But we, it's like we hadn't missed a beat when we hook up on the next trip or whatever. So it's really cool to be able to see those connections and those friendships and relationships grow, both with the girls themselves in our particular business, but also to be the spouse and to be able to be a part of that. So that's been fun.
No, absolutely. And, and I don't want to come across as sexist or anything, but, I know the sense of pride I feel as the father of the home, and this would be applicable to a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. I know how I feel when I'm able to pick up the tab or I'm able to treat the family. Let's go to a family night out and do something. I can only imagine the joy that comes from their heart when they have their girlfriend sitting beside them up away from the water on the beach, and they can see all their husbands out there playing sand football and know their hard labor, their work, they're being our wives, spouses, significant others, girlfriends, got us there.
Right.
So, man, how can you not get behind that?
Yeah, that's awesome. And we did the same. So when I first started this little show here, or at least the concept of it, it was over Christmas this past year. And we were in that very situation. And obviously, we had done the cruise, but we had gone on a vacation down to Florida over Christmas. And it was almost 100% paid for by Ann's business. And so to be able to make a trip, travel down, spend a week in Anna Maria Island, paid for going out, paid for the place we stayed, but all that stuff. It's just awesome to be able to do that. And that kind of leads into my next kind of question for you is the joys, the benefits, the upside. What do you feel like has been both for you and for her as far as the upside of being a part of this?
Gosh, I think it's you can't quantify the upside really. I think human nature, you want to always go to the money. What's the money? But I'm a believer in the money will be there when it needs to be there, if it's supposed to be there. I see the upside I'll do her side, my side, upside. Her side is she has through her job, if you will, in network marketing with Unique, she's got a platform. She's got people that mentor her that have proven to be successful in the business world. She gets to then take that and pass that down the line and add her own 2 cents to that wisdom. And I come home on a daily basis. I really wish I did on a daily basis, but I come home and almost every day I want to be very diligent, ask her, how's the family? How's your job? I don't say how is Unique. I say, what's going on in your job? And I don't think in 4 years I've seen her just break down in tears of joy or sadness. It's steady Eddie. She gets into it. She gets out of it what she puts into it, and she's passionate about it. And hey, I had 5 new people join today, or man, this person, guess what? This person jumped out of the business. I wish them the best. I think upside there is just she's happy. And then so that equates to my upside. I'm happy, happy wife, happy life.
Happy life, happy life. Absolutely.
And everything else that comes with it. I mean, look, all of a sudden I'll see people people joining her. I'll see some of my old best buddies in high school's moms joining her team, or real estate agents. I'm like, what are you doing? But just the people. Point is the people that she's able to reach, and get to know better. People that were once teaching us how to tie our shoes are now on her team or working with her as a team. And I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. And it's neat that I think in all network marketing, again, obviously unique is one thing, but I think in all of it, that's the beauty of network marketing in general, is that flexibility, the freedom, any age, any level. You may have people that are making thousands of dollars a month. You may have people that are making $100 a month. But it's maybe it's not about the money. It's about the freedom. It's about the flexibility. But you can be doing this full time, which we know a lot of people that are. You can do it part time. You can do it in addition to something else. There's all kinds of, to whatever degree you were wanting to jump in, you have the flexibility and freedom to do it. It's really cool to be able to show that. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wish my job was as flexible as her job. I mean, if she's sick one week, she doesn't have to worry about running out of sick days. If she just decides she's had enough of me and wants to go 3 hours east of Shreveport, she can do it and still do her job.
Right.
So I'm very envious, if you will, which we're not supposed to be envious of things, but it's kind of hard not to be when she's full of joy on a daily basis. Again, it's not perfect, but
loves what she's doing.
She's loving what she's doing,
right.
And golly, and to be able to. And here's and this is just specific to my situation. We've got 3 kids and a dog too, and I come home and the windows aren't busted. No one's bleeding out of their main arteries. Everything's just humming along. And she's cooking dinner and she's watching a video, or watching someone on her team so she can maybe critique them, or she's learning from someone above her. And man, the girl's got the rhythm.
It's awesome. And positivity. I think that's what I've really noticed is Anne's, not only her experience personally, but so I think she exudes positivity now, where before I wouldn't say that she was not positive, but she just, I would say, more neutral. But I think just what Unique has done for her, and then just the whole self-employment piece, and again, it is a job. It's whether you put part-time or full-time or double-time into it, it's something that she takes pride in and she really loves and is positive about. And you look at her Facebook page and it is just happy, and not to say that there aren't sad times, and she shares some of that stuff too, but I think just in general, positivity comes out of a lot of what she does. And I think that comes back to what you said, which is when you love what you do and you're able to do that thing that you have a passion for, it comes out in everything you're doing.
Matt, there's people that I don't know. I lose track, and it's really not important. People that they may or may not be on her specific team, but I hear stories of Jane, and Jane's got 3 children, and one's severely sick, hyper sick all the time, and it's not the flu or the cold. It's something. It's something bigger than that. And I watched Katie, and I watch her team, and they're there for each other. And so this thing really becomes network marketing, if you will, or even any. If you let it, it can really become more than that. And that's really, I've seen that happen here. People that she's never even met face to face for 9-10 months until that next incentive trip comes around, when she finally gets to meet them. You'd think they've known each other for 10 years.
It's crazy.
And when they do get to see each other in person, it's like they each, whether it be the person that's on top or the person that's on bottom, it becomes neutral, and they hug each other like a mother hadn't seen their kid in 5 years. It's amazing. It's like they're both instant. They go from this to instant equal celebrities and have the same mind, same goal. And
yeah, it's fun to see.
No pun intended, but it's pretty unique.
Yeah. So we'll finish one last question I got. So if you had to say, like, lesson learned, what you've learned over the last several years as being a part of this, from your side in particular, what have you learned, and kind of what's that takeaway for you, and connected to network marketing and direct sales and that kind of thing?
I don't know. I like to take network marketing out of it and just say job, or the thing that takes your time, the thing you're putting your efforts into. And I would say the thing I've learned is teamwork makes the dream work. Be supportive of your girlfriend, of your boyfriend, of your husband, of your wife, no matter if you're the one doing it, they're the one doing it. You know, you've got to be there for each other. Ask questions. Don't be a fear monger because you don't understand it. Don't discourage. You know, I think the biggest thing I was concerned of is getting invested into something that may be a fad. Well, guess what? I'm sure one day in history, toilet paper was a fad, but I still use it. You know, be there for each other. And if it's not meant to be, if it ends up being it's a toxic company or if it's a toxic job, it'll show itself and you move on. It's all good.
Awesome.
That's really what I've learned is be there, be the supportive wife, be the supportive husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, child, teenager. I mean, you see mom doing something that's kind of weird and maybe selling sticks of magic mascara to your friends. That's kind of hard to support, but you know, if you, it really will help mom, I bet, if you are supporting, if anyone on here is watching that's in that situation. But
that's awesome.
I think that's the trick right there from how I see it today. Ask me again in 4 more years. And by then, Katie will have done this for 8 years then. I don't think that the key for me of support was changed. Maybe it will have, but
I think you're right. I think the teamwork piece, I love, you know, it's a little cheesy statement, but the whole teamwork makes the dream work thing. I think, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you support or you don't. And if you don't, then it makes it doubly as hard for them to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
When you do support them and put that effort out there, makes their life a ton better and easier. I wouldn't say easy, but just easier to have that, you know, they don't need one more push or one more negativity side or one more anything on the other side that could bring them down or push them down or pull them down. But
that's
the
right.
flip side of that is, you know, if we raise them up, we put them, you know, give them support, give them everything that they need and ask what it is that you can do to help. I think that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, you can apply it to everything in life. I applied it to my New Orleans Saints when they lost with 2 seconds left in Minnesota. You know, our defense let us down, but my flesh was very angry, but hindsight, the other team and the children that pulled for their team were happy. They got what they wanted. I still like the Saints, and I'm still going to support them. I wasn't happy with the outcome, but that's 1 year. That was one game. You know, give it time, and if it doesn't get better, it's probably time to move on. But just be there.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your Super Bowl Sunday, and everybody else for watching and
you bet
sticking around. So appreciate it. And thanks, JT. Really appreciate Justin Timberlake showing up.
That was huge.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. I'm going to click this thing. This is where it's always fun because we don't quite know when it's going to end. Then I'm going to click end, and then hopefully we'll stop here in just a second.